Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now, normally I would be bringing you equipment, reviews, hacks, things that I've worked around. But today, it's the beginning of a new year, and I just wanted to show you guys how I use the Omega Project to train. Now, we live in a time where a lot of programming, a lot of coaching is all done via phone. So for instance, I'm using the Evolve AI app. A lot of people out there are using Juggernaut. There's Trainerize, there's thousands of different web-based, electronic-based software solutions. So why would anybody actually use paper logs? The way I'm gonna kind of show you guys how I do this is just take you through how I do a daily log. And then just try to make a case for you as we enter the new year. Maybe one of the things that's going to help you keep true to maybe a New Year's resolution or a strength goal that you have for this year is going to be using paper logs to actually make that progress. So now, first and foremost, if you do use any sort of web-based coaching, one of the things that you have to do is kind of like a daily check-in. And a lot of the questions that are asked on the daily check-in are an attempt to actually get data from some other part of your life, or perhaps you track it. So for instance, I have a Garmin watch and I track my sleep. It tracks my HRV. It does all sorts of different tracking. Perhaps you have Whoop, something of that nature. And what the app is trying to do when it has you do your daily check-in, or you do like your daily check-in, is it's trying to see where you're at, so it knows what programming to actually spit at you to challenge your level of homeostasis so that you can, improve. Now, that's really cool, and I'm happy that the app does that, but that's also one of the things that the Omega Project can do, because the Omega Project also has the availability to write in other stuff that's easy to flip through. So right off the bat, the way that I use this is I'm in week 12 of my current training cycle. I do keep track of it on kind of a more macro scale. So being on week 12 of this cycle, 1 January 2024, the first thing that's in the book is mobility. What I do for this is I write in anything that I do in addition to the guided warm-up that comes in the Evolve AI app. So for instance, today is an upper body day, and I'm a huge advocate for the Kabuki shoulder rock. So I will be swinging the shoulder rock, sitting over there right now. So I'll write in my swing rep count, etc. And then what I actually tend to do is I'll jump all the way down to the bottom where it actually talks about recovery and health. And the first thing that's up is sleep. Now, what's nice about this is although my Evolve app is going to ask me for how my sleep was last night, this takes it a step further, because in Juggernaut and Evolve AI, there's no ability to actually track 8 hours of bad sleep. But in the training log, there actually is. So I can write in. So for instance, last night, I got 8 hours and 4 minutes of sleep. I know that because my watch spits that data out. So again, this acting as that central data collection point. And although I got 8 hours and 4 minutes of sleep, my HRV was a little bit low. And so the sleep quality was about an 84. Now it has a 1 to 10 scale down here. I tend to, the next thing it's gonna ask is energy level. And the way that I take this is, now I train in the mornings, but if you train in the afternoon, what I recommend that you do is take the energy level at the start of your training session. So for instance, when I woke up this morning, my body battery, according to Garmin, was at an 86. I consistently wear this, and so it actually does gauge my actual energy level pretty well. Now 86 isn't bad, especially considering that last night I had a few alcoholic beverages while we brought in the new year. So I'm not disappointed with it, but I'm gonna circle the 8, or fill in the 8 rather, because at the beginning of training, my body battery is at 82 after breakfast, all that. The next thing it asks about is hydration, are you hydrated? And now, I'm actually not. So yesterday, it was at someone else's place. I forgot my water bottle. Just kind of a bad situation. I can make excuses all day, but I'm actually not hydrated today. And then alcohol yesterday, yes. And then what I do here is, because alcohol yesterday is a yes/no question, I tend to just tell it how many I've had. Normally, I don't drink very much. It's pretty rare that I drink. But last night I had 3 beers. So I'm at 2 times 3 beer. I got wild last night. So sleep tools, if you have sleep tools. So for instance, I have a APAP because I have sleep apnea. So APAP, because I wore it last night, I wore it for the entire night. if I have nights where maybe I whip my CPAP or APAP off midway through the night, I'll just annotate that I did that in there. And then in recovery tools, I really don't use recovery tools. I don't have, for instance, I don't have an ice bath. I do have a sauna, but I tend to write sauna in there if I use it. I don't do the sauna every day. Honestly, I don't do the sauna as much as I should. And that is one of the goals that me and my wife set for 2024. So recovery tools, what I write in here is my HRV. Now, I kind of wish that Omega Project had a separate HRV data point, because what I found is as I get more used to using HRV, it is a very good predictor of my abilities for that day. And it's also really good for kind of predicting when I'm going to be hitting getting sick. But I'll write in my 7-day average, which is a 49, which is balanced for me. So 49 average. And then whatever it was last night. So last night my HRV was 47. Honestly, that probably has a little bit to do with having some beers and then going home and going to sleep. So 49 average, 47 last. Vitamins, I do write this in because I probably should do a subscription. You save a little bit more money, but I'm stupid, I don't. So I'll write in here that I actually take my daily essentials, and I actually count my Gilly Greens, which is my green supplement. It's a really well-balanced, good green supplement. You should check it out, the link's down below. And I'll write that in there. And I actually write that in as a vitamin, not a supplement, because in my mind, supplements are something that you don't necessarily take every day, and vitamins are something that you take every day, and that's like you're buying that insurance on the front end. So Daily Essentials is really good. If you've never checked them out before, you've probably seen me plug UXO before, but Daily Essentials is like the internal gut health, prebiotics, probiotics mixed in with it, which has been great, especially for someone like me. In Afghanistan, I had to drink the water a couple times, and basically the only thing that actually makes me have good passage is Daily Essentials. Seems to be the hack there. And then underneath that we have supplements, mindfulness, and notes. Now today I am drinking Send It before my strength training session, and it's the Send It, it's the stim version. So for me, I'm really big on the non-stim when I feel like my caffeine is getting a little bit too much. This morning I just had one coffee with my breakfast. So I took the stim because that's a little bit low on caffeine. It unfortunately puts me over 300 milligrams per day, which if you're a nerd about supplements, you understand that over 300 milligrams of caffeine will actually start to vasoconstrict and blah-de-da-de-da. It removes a little bit of the efficacy, but with just one coffee, and it was about an hour ago, I'm taking Send It leaded. I am a little bit dehydrated today, and so what I'm gonna do is after I finish this, I'm gonna go fill up another Helix shaker bottle with, I really like their Aquaspike is what it's called, and it's their electrolyte. So like if you've ever taken Liquid IV, imagine Liquid IV but with no sugar, and way less expensive, but more effective because it actually has the stuff that your body needs. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take a scoop of that with like 20 ounces of water. I like it really diluted, but it allows me to hydrate during my training session without having something that's too sweet. And also something that doesn't just taste like water. I don't mind drinking water. I drink a lot of water every day. But for me, when I'm training, I like to have something that has a little bit of flavor to it. I don't know if it's a Pavlonian thing or whatever. So I'm gonna write Aquaspike down here. So that's pretty much it. So what I'll do then here is I'll go through my app, and I will pre-write in. So I'll like check in on my application, which I've already done. And then I'll actually come in here and I'll make my plan. Now this is also something that's really good because if you're in the home gym, you know that sometimes space, so for instance, space for me is somewhat of a problem. And so I can see here if I need to deconflict any lifts before I get to them. And what that allows me to do is really streamline my time in the gym so that when I come out here, I'm dialed in and I'm just going from one machine, or I'm sorry, not one machine, but from one lift to the next. But I'll write in all of these. So for instance, today I've got comp bench. Now this is where having the Omega project is really handy. So in most apps, it's really difficult to switch back, hey, like which bar did I use last time? So for instance, I'm a little bit inconsistent sometimes because I'm testing equipment on what bar I'm using. So what I can do is I usually drop this red tag, this red bookmark rather, and I'll drop it in on the week prior. So on week 11, day one, I use the Cadillac bar for my bench press progression. And so for me, that's just really handy to be able to flip back and be able to see what I did last week from just a quick flip, but also understanding how I can like match up a different bar. So if I am reviewing something, how did I set it up? Because I'll also put notes in here. For instance, if I'm using the Fig Jammer to do hack squats and I want to see what I did the previous week as far as the setup, I can just flip back and forth and it makes it really easy. Now there are some blocks in here that just don't get used very often. So for instance, the body weight block, I just don't worry about it. I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm a strongman, all go, no show. But honestly, I use my body weight tracker through the Garmin app way more than I use it on the paper logs, because again, although I do use Omega Project, I don't use it for everything. The other thing that I don't use very much is the note section. And again, I don't use that unless there's some sort of issue. Now I will say that from last Tuesday's squat session, my adductors are still freaking pissed off. So I will write that in like tomorrow when I have my squat day, if they're still sore, because that's a pretty serious DOMS as far as I'm concerned. But that is the Omega Project. Now I use it every day. So even on my conditioning days, I will write in what I did on conditioning. I'll write in the metrics, either based on what the treadmill is telling me I did or my watch is telling me I did, sometimes both, but that is it. So what I would ask you guys to do is just go check out the Omega Project. It's a really cool business. It's a veteran-owned business. It's a very high quality training journal. It's nice. It even has the bandy enclosure thing. What's cool about that is if you throw it in your gym bag, you don't have to worry about it coming open too much and getting jammed up. The books do wear out a little bit, but they only last about 4 months if you use them every single day, which I do, and I highly recommend that you consider doing as well. Veteran-owned business, very cool business. They also make a gunfighter journal and a nutrition journal. I did use their nutrition journal for a while, and the nutrition journal is really nice because you can kind of go in a little bit more freehand, and it's quicker than using an application. But that's the Omega Project. So if you set some goals for 2024, go check them out. Links down below. I'm not even sure if I get a commission anymore. I'm pretty sure that if you go direct to the website, code KurtLocker. All right. So if you do go to the website, code KurtLocker, all one word, will save you 10%. Or you can go to Amazon. I put the Amazon link down below as well. Go check them out there. The nice part about going to Amazon is I'm pretty sure you get Prime shipping. But yeah, Omega Project. Remember, when it comes to your training, always keep it better, awesome, and badass. I'll see you next time.